There are any number of events that could affect us, particularly because of our geography.
You look at the natural disasters that have been happening. You look at the potential for terrorist attacks.
More people lose their jobs, crime goes up, civil unrest, martial law.
I don't want to think about what could happen. Okay, but what are you going to do if something does happen?
If you had 1 hour, when you had to leave, what would you grab? What would you take?
Long Island preppers have to deal with the unique challenges of Long Island. We've got to produce stuff right here for our survival.
This is my prepping area, the basement. This is where the majority of my stuff is. This is all prepping. This is all my prepping emergency food. Everything I buy, I write the expiration date on the top in a Sharpie, and I even write now what it is in case if there's flooding or something and the label comes off. At least it's not, doesn't have to be a surprise for dinner.
So do you want to do a bugging in, like 15 minutes?
Yeah, why not? Bugging in, staying in home and waiting out whatever the catastrophe is. Prepping. It just means being prepared.
Seeing what's going on around you, anticipating what might happen or what you think might happen. If I have to supply food, power, preparing if I have to leave somewhere, being able to get out first and not be stuck in a traffic jam.
Ready for most of it, if not all of it.
All the survival food and the 3 boxes of the 275, which I still plan on getting some more of those. Lots of bandages, lots of 4x4s, 5x9s, skin staple remover.
I put all my food and water in the storage facility, and I also have food, water at home. I dedicated a closet to nothing but prepper supplies. It was my wife's coat closet, and I took it over.
It's expensive. It's not easy, I'm not paranoid. It may seem like I am, but I'm not paranoid about it. I enjoy doing this, so I do it.
I think of prepping maybe a little bit differently than other people do. I see prepping as being a different way of describing taking responsibility for yourself. Prepping, how most people think of it, does have an extreme connotation to it. But that would be the one end of the continuum that I see of self-reliance.
People ask me, well, why would you want to do that? Why wouldn't you want to live for life? I'm like, well, I am living for life. I'm making sure my family's secured and squared away.
I think people find it difficult psychologically to deal with the possibility that life as we know it may not continue forever. We need to little by little introduce them to these possibilities.
I've got real bags. I've got trauma bags that ready to perform literally surgery. I've got oxygen, O2 portable O2 bottles. Medical supplies, I've got bins and bins, but that's for bugging in.
Right.
That's for long-term bugging
Long-term,
in.
right.
55-gallon drums, all that stuff,
Wow, well, you've been doing this a while then.
A couple years.
A bug-out bag is an emergency bag that you have by your door, and it's just an emergency bag with food, water, supplies, clothing that's supposed to sustain you for anywhere between 5 days to a week. A standard bug-out bag by a beginner. Food, water, clothes, shelter. Shelter meaning a tent, tarp, toiletries, toothbrush, wet wipes.
You try going 3 months without toilet paper. You're going to be ripping magazines apart, So is it that hard to stock up on toilet paper? No.
Weapon, if you can afford it. You shouldn't put a weapon in your bag if you don't know how to use it.
Is there anything wrong with having a first aid kit? Is there anything wrong with, being prepared with some things that you can put in your truck or plotting out a destination to go if something happens? Somebody calls that crazy. Somebody else might call that smart,